Has he done enough for Puerto Rico? The governor there saying they face a humanitarian disaster. Nearly 3.5 million American citizens. Critics saying the president tweeted about the NFL all weekend, not Puerto Rico. And when he did finally tweet, was he compassionate or did he take on Puerto Rico for its problems? The battle with the NFL tonight, the show of unity with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys and the Cardinals, the boos from the stands. Now the president tonight saying there should be a new rule for NFL players. The plan to kill Obamacare, the effort is dead tonight. The president angry there will be no vote. Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski revealing tonight why they were not convinced. The FBI arrests tonight 4 coaches at the NCAA big-name schools and what they're accused of. And we have news on O.J. Simpson tonight, set to go free in just days, what the paperwork reveals.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night, and we begin with what authorities are calling a humanitarian disaster in Puerto Rico. More than 3 million American citizens live there. And tonight, the president is asked, was he preoccupied with the NFL and his tweets? The president tweeting 24 times about the NFL, but he did not tweet about Puerto Rico over the weekend. Tonight, he's defending himself, and the White House releasing this photo of a meeting in the Situation Room to signal they are doing all they can. Tonight, the president plans to now visit Puerto Rico, and ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega leading us off.
President Trump in the Rose Garden today with the message for Puerto Rico.
We will get through this, and we will get through it together.
On the ground, total devastation. Nearly the entire island still without power, more than half of it without water. But many say until now, the president's public response has been subdued. Overnight, in a series of tweets, President Trump emphasized Puerto Rico's massive debt, saying it owes billions of dollars to Wall Street and the banks, which sadly must be dealt with. Among those who called him out, the mayor of San Juan, who said, "You don't put debt above people, you put people above debt." New York Congresswoman Nydia Velasquez going even further.
So this is going to turn to be Mr. Trump's Katrina.
And today we put the question to the president.
Is Puerto Rico getting all the help it needs from you, Mr. President?
Puerto Rico is very important to me, and Puerto Rico, the people are fantastic people. I grew up in New York, so I know many people from Puerto Rico. I know many Puerto Ricans.
The president highlighting the praise he's received.
And it's the most difficult job because it's on the island. It's on an island in the middle of the ocean. It's out in the ocean. You can't just drive your trucks there from other states. And the governor said we are doing a great job.
While brushing off questions about whether he's been preoccupied by his battle with the NFL.
Was I preoccupied? Not at all. Not at all. I have plenty of time on my hands. All I do is work.
And today the White House released these photos to show it. The president in the Situation Room being briefed on Puerto Rico.
So let's get to Cecilia Vega live at the White House tonight. And Cecilia, the president announcing today that he will now travel to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, David, he says that he will go there on Tuesday, but also headed to Puerto Rico. The U.S. Navy ship Comfort. It's a medical ship with as many as 1,200 active duty and reserve personnel on it. But, David, we are being told it will take about a week before it arrives.
A week. Cecilia Vega leading us off tonight. Thank you. Our correspondent in Puerto Rico tonight asking the mayor of San Juan if she has a message for President Trump. And she did. And today, what else we found there? A retirement home with residents trapped at the top of the building. No running water, no electricity, in sweltering heat. ABC's Eva Pilgrim from San Juan tonight.
Tonight, at this sweltering 14-story retirement home in San Juan.
We're going door to door, doing a search.
There's no running water. The only way out for the elderly residents, these stairs.
What can I do, leave them here?
Here, we meet Lizbeth Vasquez, trying to care for her parents.
I can't walk too much.
Who desperately need medicine. They were just treated for dehydration.
If I would have not taken them to the hospital, they would have been dead.
Hundreds at the airport. Susanna Gardner has been here for 2 days, trying to get out.
I have high blood pressure, and I'm not supposed to be in this heat, and it's not good.
6 days since the Category 4 storm made landfall on the U.S. territory, 95% of the island has no power. Long lines for gas. Entire villages and towns remain cut off.
Are you getting the stuff you need fast enough?
No. And I'm sorry if that's not politically correct to say.
San Juan's mayor telling me bureaucratic red tape is holding up relief efforts.
But President Trump, please, whatever you need to do, let FEMA do their job.
And Eva joins us now from San Juan. Eva, you talked to the governor of Puerto Rico as well, and he told you that supplies are getting to Puerto Rico, but that they're having trouble distributing them?
That's right, David. The governor telling me he really needs those drivers to come back to work so they can deliver those goods, the fuel, the water, and the food to places in need. But many of those drivers, they're Puerto Ricans themselves who have been cleaning up their own houses in the aftermath of the storm. David?
All right, an island overwhelmed still. Eva, thank you. There was one more moment we witnessed today after that monster hurricane. Hundreds of American medical students who are still stranded on the island of Dominica, a full 8 days after the hurricane hit. ABC's Ian Pannell with them as they try to get out, and the U.S. military, backed by special forces, is now sweeping that island tonight.
Tonight, the race to rescue hundreds of American students stranded on this Caribbean island ravaged by Hurricane Maria. Some have been stranded for over a week as the island's residents face dire conditions.
The destruction on the island is shocking. I mean, in parts, buildings have just been completely blown away. People are short of food, they're short of electricity.
Have your numbers out. An international team working to evacuate students from Dominica with incredible stories of survival.
One girl, her entire house went out, and she was just holding on to the floorboards, like, for the entire storm. Her face, I saw her face at like 2:30 in the morning. Face was just red from the wind, not from crying, just from the wind in her face.
So after this, we're brothers, not friends. You don't go through catastrophe and not have family afterwards.
And tonight, all those students now on their way home and to safety.
So all students off the island, but that doesn't mean all Americans rescued. U.S. Special Forces, together with the military, are scouring the island. But don't forget those who call this home. They have no escape plan. David?
Ian Pannell with us tonight as well. Ian, thank you. Maria, now a tropical storm, isn't done yet, now approaching the East Coast at this hour, kicking up rough surf and dangerous rip currents from Florida to Maine over the next few days. Its closest point near North Carolina's Outer Banks. It'll be tomorrow morning. Evacuations in place, and our weather team says it could be a rough night ahead. Wind and surf, possible rip currents, then that track making a hard right turn before going out to sea. We'll continue tracking it. And in the west at this hour, an evacuation order is still in place tonight. A wildfire in Southern California, burning in the Santa Ana Mountains, growing to more than 2,000 acres, forcing more than 1,000 people from their homes. Firefighters battling throughout the night there to save those homes. The flames burning very close to the 91 freeway. 2 lanes have been closed for part of this day. To President Trump versus the NFL tonight after that show of unity. Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys linking arms with the Cardinals as well tonight. It happened overnight. There were boos. Now this evening, the president is calling for a new rule for NFL players. ABC senior national correspondent Matt Gutman again tonight.
Tonight, with so much crossing his desk, from the humanitarian crisis in Puerto Rico to the showdown with North Korea, the president is being asked about his focus on the NFL.
There's some concern that you were preoccupied with the NFL instead of dealing with Puerto Rico. Why isn't that a fair assessment?
Well, I wasn't preoccupied with the NFL. I was ashamed of what was taking place because, to me, that was a very important moment. I don't think you can disrespect our country, our flag, our national anthem.
Just before Monday night's game, the Dallas Cowboys, including its owner, Jerry Jones, who'd been critical of players kneeling in protest of police brutality, took a collective knee.
Boos can be heard.
Jerry Jones taking a knee.
Yeah, that's amazing, but I'm glad you did.
Both the Cowboys and the Cardinals then rose, linking arms during the national anthem. At first, President Trump tweeted that the booing was the loudest I have ever heard. Great anger. Then he seemed to commend the Cowboys for splitting the difference and standing during the anthem. Big progress being made. We all love our country. The protest sparked by the president's own words.
Get that son of a off the field right now. Out. He's fired.
A comment that united figures from across the sporting world, encapsulated by this Sports Illustrated cover. David, in the latest of the president's 24 tweets on the topic, he took it even a step further, calling for a rule that you can't kneel during the national anthem. David.
Matt Gutman with us again tonight. Thanks, Matt. We turn next here to the newest effort to kill Obamacare. It is dead on arrival. There will be no vote. And tonight, 2 Republican senators, Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, on why they were not convinced. And even after John McCain said he would vote no, support for him from the senator who helped write the bill. Mary Bruce, back on the Hill tonight.
Tonight, Republicans are conceding defeat.
We've made the decision, since we don't have the votes, we will postpone that vote. Okay? And am I disappointed? Absolutely.
But for mom Samantha McGovern, who worried what this bill would mean for her daughter Josephine, relief.
Last time I saw you. I'm much happier today than I was the last time I saw you.
The fatal blow dealt by Senator Susan Collins of Maine.
It was clear to me that the Graham-Cassidy bill was not the answer.
Her objections to the bill, the deep cuts to Medicaid, and the concern millions would lose coverage. Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, who opposed the last attempt,
I said in January we should not repeal without a replacement.
Didn't like the process this go-round, saying the U.S. Senate cannot get the text of a bill on a Sunday night, then proceed to a vote just days later with only one hearing. John McCain, who took down the last GOP attempt with this defiant thumbs down, agreed he wants a bipartisan process. His best friend in the Senate, Lindsey Graham, who crafted the bill, had this to say.
John McCain can do whatever damn he wants to. He's earned that right.
But tonight, he says they have to keep up the fight.
Why? We'll get killed if we don't.
You'll get killed if you don't?
We'll get killed. I mean, can you imagine if we just don't fulfill this promise?
Mary Bruce with us live tonight from the Capitol. And now that this newest Republican bill is dead for now, Mary, Republicans will now need 60 votes instead of a simple majority had they gotten it done this week. That would mean both sides would have to come together on this.
Exactly, David. And word tonight, bipartisanship is back. Senators from both sides of the aisle are headed back to the negotiating table to try and hammer out immediate steps to stabilize the markets and give Americans facing high premiums some relief. David.
Bipartisanship is back. We heard you say it there, Mary. We'll keep tracking that as we continue to cover this. Mary, thank you. We turn next to a political battle playing out right now in Alabama tonight. Two larger-than-life characters competing to be the Republican candidate for Senate. Judge Roy Moore pulling out a gun at last night's rally. He's been endorsed by President Trump's former advisor, Steve Bannon, but not the president. The other candidate, 6'9" Senator Luther Strange, is the president's pick. But did the president signal he is now having second thoughts about his choice? ABC's chief national correspondent Tom Llamas is there for us.
I believe in the Second Amendment.
Flashing his gun on stage and riding his horse to the polls, former Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore is also a hero to the religious right.
Crime, corruption, immorality, abortion, sodomy, sexual perversion sweep our land.
Moore's top supporter in this Senate primary, President Trump's former chief strategist, Steve Bannon.
He's a courageous man, and most importantly, he's a righteous man.
But the president is supporting Moore's opponent, Senator Luther Strange.
What would you tell Trump supporters who are confused? Who should they vote for?
I'm just an individual, and I would highly recommend that the folks in the state of Alabama support Judge Moore.
But the president says he's loyal to Strange for helping him on health care, even calling him Big Luther.
Met him once. I said, that is the tallest human being I've ever seen. I'm tall. Should be in the New York Knicks. They could use him. So, Luther, that's why I call him Big Luther.
Strange making it clear he will be in lockstep with the president.
He knows I've got his back.
But the president acknowledges he may be backing the loser.
And I might have made a mistake. And I'll be honest, I might have made a mistake.
So Tom Llamas with us from Homewood, Alabama tonight. And Tom, President Trump saying he might have made a mistake. And he's made it clear, Tom, that he'll enthusiastically campaign for whoever wins tonight.
He has, David. Many are predicting this is going to be a very tight race, and the president knows that. And he said if Judge Moore does win, he will be back down here, quote, campaigning like hell for him. David?
Tom Llamas with us tonight. Tom, thanks as always. Next here, President Trump warning that the U.S. is prepared to use, quote, devastating military action against North Korea if necessary, after that nation threatened to shoot down U.S. warplanes. North Korea backing up that threat with a new propaganda video simulating their missiles destroying U.S. planes and ships. North Korea says President Trump's harsh words are a declaration of war. And an angry response tonight to North Korea's threats from the parents of Otto Warmbier, the college student held captive by the North Koreans for 18 months, returning home in a vegetative state.